Welcome back to Diagnose Bravo podcast. I am your host, Maury.
And Demi.
And today we're going to talk about, so we decided to do something a little different. We wanted to go on Reddit and see other people's replies to some of the news that's been going out on housewife stuff or housewife franchises, along with VanderpumpRules. So we were like, let's talk about other people's opinions and then talk about our own. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about Reddit replies and give our 2 cents on some shit. Yes. First one up. I'm parting because I feel really nasally today. Kind of sucks. But first one up is the delusion that is TomSandoval. That is the name, the subject of the Reddit post, which I thoroughly enjoy. All good things come to an end. And I do think that TomSandoval was living in his Delulu era for far too long, and it's all caught up to him. So the content of the post said, and this is relation to the latest Vanderpump episode that dropped. Tom and James had to sit down. James felt really betrayed by Tom, rightfully so. You took his bitch, and then lied to the whole group. A lot of collateral there. And James just felt really, really betrayed, and he wanted to talk to him about it. He felt isolated, sober again. He just wants to mend friendships and get the recognition for the things that he's went through. Sandoval, bro, and Demi hasn't seen it yet, but no. Sandoval told James that I don't even know how you can compare this because you were fucking Kristen with my condoms in my bed in my house.
But they weren't even together.
And it's not funny. Like, I'm only laughing because it's like, this is what you do. You deflect now, but that's what he told him.
Man-child.
That's what he told him.
That's honestly why I had stopped watching, because I actually stopped watching the show. And what's crazy is that Sandoval got me into watching the show. Scandoval got me into watching the show. Same. No. Did I start watching pre-Scandoval?
No, we started seeing the posts on our housewife Facebook group, and we were like, what is this? And then that's how we got into it.
So we got into Vanderpump because of Scandoval. And I only watched up until like season 9 because it just got up to a point where it's like, I think because they look young, and I don't know if maybe it's like plastic surgery or whatever, or good genetics, whatever. But it gets to a point where you realize that these people are in their 40s or late 30s. And this is how they behave. Especially that first season, Jax was 32. Currently, I'm 31 years of age. And it's so cringe to be like, these people who were older than me, or who I'm the same age as like when they were in their first season, are behaving in ways that like people in their 20s behave. Now, Stassi, I think Stassi was like 21 years old. So like this correlates for her level of behavior. But it's like Sandoval was old as fuck. Jax was definitely old as fuck. Other Tom, old as fuck. Why are we acting in this way? So it got to a point where I was just like, I can't handle this level of drama. It doesn't make any sense that you are this old and your life is so much, like there's just so much drama. Like, when are we gonna start acting our age a little bit? That's and so fair. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't. So I live vicariously through Twitter. But I can't I just can't watch it. Eventually I will, but I had to take a break from that. It was just too much.
That's fair. You know, one of the things I didn't consider was their age. I will say their lifestyle appeals to a younger demographic, which was the goal. But I've completely forgot that these people are damn near 20 years older than me. Nope, like 15 years older than me.
That would make you like 10 years old. What are you talking about?
I forgot my age. It's early in the morning, y'all. I'm 28, okay?
Actually, you're right, because Jax is like 45.
Oh, you see? Look at me with
you were math. Right. Look at me not doing math.
It's early. We you're awake so we can get brunch later.
I can't wait for brunch, bro. I'm so excited.
But yes,
Yeah,
so
you're
that's a good
right.
point.
He's like
Yeah.
15 years older than you. Damn, that's unfortunate.
This is what we're doing in Cali. Like
Bro, it's like, what are we doing out there? Like,
the
are
most.
there, is there no, like, who raised you? I'm so confused. I'm so confused. Honestly, I feel like Vanderpump is low-key like a social experiment in the way that it was like, let's just get all the personality disorders together and see what happens. We have a lot of BPDs in that bitch. We have a lot of NPDs. We have a lot of um crazy attachment styles. We have honestly a little bit of sociopaths, I think.
Oh
A
yeah.
little bit.
Oh
Or
yeah.
psychopaths. I don't remember which one's the one that's not as severe. I want to say psychopaths. We have a couple of psychopaths. I'm not going to hold you. We have a lot of pathological liars. We have a lot of
Everybody.
addiction. It's just like anything that could possibly be in the DSM, one of these people has something. And it's crazy. It's crazy. And it's like this is what happens when like you don't get therapy. Honestly.
It's wild. That is, you're not wrong whatsoever. It's just I didn't think about it like that because they're all bonkers in some way.
All of them. They're
It's
all
wild.
hurt. All of them are hurt. It's like I understand your childhood was hard. Go get some therapy.
And you know, Sandoval is like, in this episode, Lisa's telling him the manly thing to do would be to leave the house and sell
Yes.
it. Um, and you know that there's this tension between Ariana and Sandoval because they're sharing the house, and that's just difficult to begin with. Where was I going with this?
I'm not sure, girl.
I
But
forgot.
since there's silence, I'm eating more cheese.
But um, but yes, so difficult nonetheless. The whole party happens at Tom and Ariana's house. And initially, Ariana was like, I don't want you to have this party in here. And if you do, I have no issue calling the cops. And
I love
Tom,
that for her.
I do too. I like that she stands firm in her boundaries. I think that that's important for a person like Tom because in that same episode, he spoke with Sheena and Sheena called him a narcissist. She's not the first person to call him a narcissist.
Nope.
Kristen has done it.
Mm-hmm.
Ariana has done it.
Mm-hmm.
Just the sheer way that you saw in the last reunion how Tom wanted the cameras to walk off just so that he can have private time alone with Raquel. That automatically lets me know that you're trying to preserve your image, you're trying to control the narrative, and you're
Mm-hmm.
crazy.
And honestly, I feel like this is why this is so hard for him because he can't control the narrative anymore.
Yep.
People see him for what he is. And I think because like you said, like I said, I haven't watched it, but you told me that he was dealing with a lot of SI, he's dealing with a lot of like depression, all this kind of other stuff. And I don't think that all of it is because of what he did. I think it's because of the backlash that he's receiving.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
although I am unsympathetic for his situation, I am very sympathetic to a situation causing someone to want to harm themselves. Like things should never get that far. And I think that the only reason things got this far is because of how public this whole situation was. And I feel like if people weren't as upset with him as they are, he'd probably be chilling. But people hate him right now. And he can't deal with that because he's a people pleaser. And
Yep.
that's just not how he gives it up. So it's making it more difficult for him because he can no longer have his mask up because people have seen him unmasked and unmasked. Jesus. So yeah. Mm,
That's well put. I mean, Lisa during that same episode had mentioned that the punishment doesn't fit the crime. And I get it. Like, all of these things have been a result of his own actions. None of it is
right,
external. All of this is
right,
I did some shit and now I got consequences. And now you're learning about those consequences.
right.
A lot of those consequences have affected his livelihood. So now he's going on like this apology tour because everyone's telling
Mhm.
him the only way to really handle this is to be sincere.
Humble. And he
Yeah.
hasn't been. But here's
Yep.
the thing, me and Moore was just talking about it. Now, if I was the president and I was there getting some Glock Glock 3000 underneath the table under the Oval Office, I would get impeached. But if I'm regular Joe Schmo down the way, who you know is a middle management getting some guap guap 3000, the most that's gonna do is maybe I'll lose my wife, maybe I'll lose my kids, maybe I'll lose the respect of my community. If there's a morality clause in your contract, I may get fired, but I can always start again. If I move to a new town, no one's gonna be like, "Oh, you're the one that was out here getting the scoop the whoop underneath your table." Like that's not going to happen. He needs to understand that he is a public, not a public figure, because I feel like those are politicians, but he is a celebrity in whatever case he is. You know what I mean? Like a
Yeah.
Bravo celebrity, because let's be real, not everybody knows who this man is. But
Yeah.
he is well known. This man can't walk down the street of LA or of New York City without somebody being like, "Oh, it's Sandoval." Nah, nah, nah. That's just not going to happen. So it's like the things that you do, although the punishment does not fit the crime, you're also a figure. You're a public figure. Like people know you, people see you, people watch you, people follow your Twitter, people follow your life. You have let us into the most intimate moments of your world. How did you think this was going to go down?
The way he thought he could, the same way that he's been trying to tell Ariana how to speak, tell Raquel how to speak, tell Schwartz how to speak. He was controlling the whole thing. And now all of that power has been stripped from him. And
And he
that,
don't like it.
not at all. He's not dealing it with it at all very well.
No.
Um, and one of the things that upsets me is when you're telling James, "Oh, you had Kristen." Yes, that was a fucked up situation. You're This is
And,
when you're pulling it out. Like Kristen was a
and
shit. It wasn't
they
James, it
wasn't
was Kristen.
together.
They
They
weren't
weren't
together. He moved
together.
out. He left.
Exactly. And this is after you had cheated on Kristen so many times. This is why I have no sympathy, because you're trying to make it apples and oranges. And bro, you was out here doing just as bad as Kristen. You and Kristen were
Mm-hmm.
cheating on each other constantly.
For
And
years.
that's something that I didn't enjoy about the show, is because they always made Kristen seem like she was crazy, but Tom was just as bad. He was constantly cheating on Kristen. Kristen was constantly cheating on him. But what ended up happening was the two of you were not together when she started to mess around with James. Was that a betrayal? Absolutely. Was that probably hurtful for you in your pockets? Absolutely. Is it anywhere near as comparable as what you did to Ariana, the woman that you bought a house with, the
Nope.
woman that you said that you loved, the woman that you were ride or die for 10 years? Get the fuck out of here, bro. You're
Nope.
deflecting. You're deflecting. You're deflecting. Like,
Another
get out of here.
not you getting triggered.
You're deflecting. Wild. Get out of here.
The other thing is, didn't he also pay for James and Rachel's engagement?
Supposedly, that's what I keep seeing online. Like I said, I never saw it. So,
Okay,
but
yes.
supposedly that, yeah, I just saw on the Twitter thread, oh, not the Twitter, the Reddit thread, that he did pay for their engagement, which makes it, he's so diabolical, bro.
Yes, this is
He's
planned.
so diabolical. Why would you do any person who's a, okay, you cheated on your girlfriend. All right, whatever. You cheated on your girlfriend, it is what it is. But it's just the way that you cheated on her, bro. You cheated with your castmate. You cheated with someone's ex-fiance. You cheated in a way that was just so diabolical, bro. And this is the only reason why Ariana's as lit as she is. No offense, Ariana, because I already thought she was lit.
Mm-hmm.
But if you cheated on her the way that like Jack cheated on Brittany with that Faith girl, how it was just like, oh, it was a one off, da 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 da. It was over, it was forgotten about. But you cheated on her in such a fucking fucked up way, with the dog dying, and didn't her like grandma die or something like
Bro, she
that?
was at
Like
her
she was at
house
funeral.
consoling
Yes.
Ariana about her
Yes.
relationship while
Yes.
fucking
Well,
Sandoval.
fucking her boyfriend. What are
Wild.
you doing?
Wild.
At least Jax had the decency to go fuck at an old lady's house. Like, what are you doing?
Well, I mean, he
What
did
are
fuck
you
Kristen on Kristen
doing?
and Sandoval's couch,
What are you
but the thing is, Jax
doing?
was open about it. By the time once he was caught, he was caught. Like
Facts.
it took a while for him to admit that he did have sex with Kristen, but we all know that he was lying, and he knew he was just trying to hold it out for as long as possible. At some point, he's gonna say, "Yeah, I did it," and then keep it pushing. That's what I
But
liked about him. He was a
he
likable
always was
bad guy.
honest about himself. That yes,
Yeah.
he may have lied a lot, but eventually he'll be like, yeah, I did it, and I stand 10 toes down on it. Tom loves to make himself a victim. He is a
Yeah.
professional victim. It's like, oh, woe is me. Oh, Ariana, she didn't like my body and she made me feel bad about myself. So break up with her. So break up
Yes.
with her.
Right. If
Break
you
up
were
with
really
her.
unhappy, honestly, bro, you could have left. We're
You
not
could have
saying that you're
left.
entitled to not be unhappy. We want you to be able to do the things that you do. I just want that for anybody, honestly.
Just
And
leave.
enjoy your life. And the only way you could do that is by not hurting other people. And you just purposely went out of your way
Right.
to hurt the people around you. And
And that's what makes Ariana so sympathetic, is because we didn't see her calling you ugly or whatever it is that you say that she said. We saw you cheating on her with her best friend.
mhm,
My guy, my guy, do better.
yeah. It's and someone had a comment here that said, he's not a fun villain, he's a repulsive one.
Right. At least
I really
Jax made
like
it
that.
fun. Jax made it fun. I used to hate Jax with a passion, but you know what? He was good to watch. That man was so unhinged when he was like, I'm the best guy," or whatever he said. That
Yes.
was so cringy. He was like, I'm the guy of the group," or whatever it is that he was saying that day. I was like, that's disgusting to say, but I like it. Nothing Tom says is like he's just a whiny man boy. And I can't get behind it. It's just, my guy, stop. Go to therapy. You need to
Honestly,
stop. You need to go to therapy. You need to see somebody and
honestly.
heal that inner child so you can be the man that you truly want to be.
And another thing in this episode is Schwartz also trying to reconnect with those people, because people are coming up to Tom saying that they had to stop associating themselves with him because of how it was going publicly, just for being
Yeah.
around him. And Schwartz
Yeah.
was affected by that. One of the waiters at Sir was affected by that. Um, so Schwartz is now trying to mend those friendships, get himself back into the group. And at some point, Katie, Ariana, or honestly, the whole group was there, but Schwartz had the idea of having a get together group with everybody, including Sandoval.
Mm-hmm.
And Ariana started speaking about her piece, and he's like, "You're not the queen of the group. Why are you even like, don't speak for everybody?" And Katie was like, "No, she's speaking for everything that we've all agreed and spoke about already."
Yeah.
And Katie was like, "When are you going to release yourself from this torture? Because he has you by puppet strings, basically." And I feel like, I don't know what it is with Schwartz. Was it, did we call him a puppy, or was he called a puppy in the show? I just feel like he tries to follow along, and he just wants the person that he's following to, how do I properly describe this? Are you getting what
I
I'm
don't
saying?
know. Yeah. There's just something that's just so sad about Schwartz. Like, I don't know what it is, but he genuinely makes me depressed.
Oh my
Because
god.
like, was that not what I was supposed to say?
Yo, that took me out. I wasn't expecting that sentence. I mean, I get it. And in the series right now, he's talking about why he looks so mopey. He got into gardening. Plants make him feel good. But he said that his brother is an alcoholic and he's in and out of rehab. He's concerned for his health.
The
The
twins,
rest,
the triplets?
one of the triplets, yeah.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, and then the restaurant tanked a little bit because of Sandoval. All of his friendships have changed. All of that happened after he divorced Katie.
Yeah.
He's in his divorce dog dad era right now, and it is sad. It is sad,
It's
but I just wasn't.
sad. Even before that, because it was like, dude's never had a real job. He
Yeah.
worked one day at Pump or whatever place that he was a
And
bartender
he got
for,
anxious.
had a panic attack and then ran away. Look, I'm famous for a good panic attack. Well, I don't love a good panic attack, but I've had a good panic attack in a lot of unopportune places. So I understand my dude. But it's like he tries to put himself out there and then I think he makes himself small, which is
Mm,
so bizarre. I mean, it's not bizarre. It probably can be explained, but he it's weird because it's not other people making him small. He makes himself small. And to see a man like emotionally castrate themselves like that is really sad because like what happened to you? Like why are you this way that you will be so willing to let other people run your life because you don't have the confidence to run it yourself? Like, and
mm.
this is just my general opinion. Like, clearly don't know the man. I don't know if that's really what's happening, but that's how it comes across to me on the TV screen. And it just makes me really sad because you can see that he has so much potential. And I had so much hope when he married Katie. Honestly, did I feel like the relationship was rocky? Absolutely, because it just genuinely never seemed like he liked her all that much. But when he made that commitment, I was like, you know what? Maybe he'll finally get his life around. And then they got divorced.
I didn't believe that at all. And the only reason why, what led me to understand that that relationship was never going to work was when Katie was trying to be more serious, he got her dogs. And not to say that dogs aren't a responsibility. I have two cats. They're crazy. They take my money. They take my time. However, that's not the same type of commitment. Now they're co-parenting these dogs, and that has nothing to show for why you originally bought the dogs, because that wasn't going to
Right.
solve the actual problem. What
It's
he
like
did was
having
use it as a
babies to save the
placeholder.
marriage.
Yeah, it was a placeholder to keep her around a little longer so that she can love him longer or come around to him, not coming around to what she wanted. And
Hmm.
any relationship that has that type of dynamic is not going to work, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah.
Maybe it could for other people, and if you got there, good job, y'all. That's a lot of work. But for Schwartz, I don't know. And I think that Katie was entirely too strong-willed, or is entirely too strong-willed for a man like Schwartz. She likes decisions. She likes direction.
But that's
She
why he
likes
liked
clarity.
her because she was his mother. He wasn't
Yes,
looking
that's
for a
exactly what
wife,
I
he
was gonna
was
say.
looking for a mom. And that's the role that she filled for him. But eventually, a woman's not going to want to be your mom forever. She's going to want to fix you. And trust me, I have tried to fix men. Maury has tried to fix men. That's
I'm just
that's
sipping my
what
water. I'm just sipping my
Right.
water.
That's what women do. We like to fix things. And that's what she tried to do. She spent so many years of her life trying to fix him, and she thought that she finally had molded him into the man that she wanted him to be. And that wasn't it. And eventually, you got to stop looking at through those rose-colored glasses and see exactly who he is. And
I think that's
Schwartz
why
just
he's so
ain't it.
unhappy. Yeah, because he keeps
He
trying to
lost
like.
everything.
And all these everythings were things that he was working towards to be the quote unquote man that he needed to be.
Yeah.
Which is hard because now you're trying to fit yourself in a mold that you didn't really originally plan or want or know anything about, and now that's
Hmm.
crumbling. Of course, he's
I
sad.
mean, him and Katie were together even before the show. I think like 4 or
Yeah,
5 years before the show. So we're talking about they were together for like a solid
decade.
15 years because they were together up until what, season 9 or season 10 is when they got divorced.
Yeah, I think they were divorced by season 10.
So like you're talking about 4 or 5 years prior to that. That's almost 14 to 15 years that you're with a person.
It's a long
And then
time.
all of a sudden, the one constant thing that you had, the one good thing that you had is gone. And you're standing on a pile of the garbage of a life that you have made. And you're looking around and you're just like, what do I have to show for the past 15 years of my life? I have no real career. I have no real friends. I have no real relationship. All I have is me and the regrets of my life that I have.
And that's
That
hard.
is a profound place to be in.
That's hard as fuck.
It is.
Look
And
at
that's why
you.
I be looking at him being sad. I'll just be like, Schwartz, you make me so sad. And then I be
Oh.
wanting to fix him. Not in like a romantic way.
Just like, let me help you. Just let me help
I
you.
just want to pull up and be like, Schwartz, I feel like you need a life coach. and I'll low-key do it for free. You don't even gotta pay me, but I will help you fix your life. I'm gonna be like, what's her name? I could never pronounce her name.
Teddy
Ayana?
Mellencamp. Oh.
No, not Teddy Mellencamp.
She was a
No,
coach.
not Teddy Mellencamp. We're gonna get somebody who can actually do their job. Ayana fixed my life. That's what I'm gonna be for him.
Oh,
Like I'm gonna be like, look, Schwartz, I'm gonna help you fix your life. Just let me do my thing, okay? We're gonna get you right. We're gonna stop drinking. We're gonna go to the gym. We're gonna be gym buddies. We're gonna well, I don't really want to go to the gym. Let me be
I'll go
real.
to the gym. It's
I'm going
okay.
to the gym. I'm not going to the gym with him. We're gonna do some yoga and we're gonna fix your life.
Yoga would
That's
probably
gonna
do
be
him
great.
good.
He
And you
probably knows
know,
some yoga.
he's the one, because I asked Demi the other day when I was watching the episode, I texted her and I was like, have you ever heard of Sober Curious? And this is not to shit on anybody's path to sobriety. I come from a family where addiction is a thing and
Hmm.
sobriety is extremely important. However, I have never heard of the fucking quote sober
Yeah.
curious. Never
I
heard of
thought you
that.
were trying to say bi curious, and I was like, I know what that's about,
No,
but
sober
I don't
curious.
I don't know about that sober curious. That's not what
Yes.
they teach you in the schools.
Yes.
But
It is curious about being on the wagon.
I mean, honestly, I think look, people are going to make up names for certain terms and stuff like that. So I feel like if this is how you think about it, this is how you think, this is just pre-contemplation. That's just all it is. So it's like you're thinking about being curious, you're thinking about getting sober, and honestly, that's better than being in denial that you have a
Mm.
problem. Who was trying to be sober curious?
Um, James's girlfriend. She says she's not sober, but she's sober curious. And
Does she have a problem?
no, but I think that you don't need a problem for sobriety. I think that with their lifestyle, it's just easy to go out and party or go out socially and do a lot of social activities. And
Okay.
maybe they want to slow down on that. Another piece is James is actually sober right now. So
Yeah.
for him to be sober and her to be sober is probably great. But and Schwartz. So those two we're talking about
Yeah.
sober curious.
Yeah.
And I just never
You
heard of the
just unlocked a
phrase.
memory. You
Remember?
just I don't know. I'm trying to catch it before it leaves. Um, I want to say it was Vanderpump. I want to say it was someone who was their partner was trying to get sober
Sheena?
and yes, there see, I knew you, girl, this is why we here. We here because you be knowing me.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that right there, that was an issue because I don't now, depending on what my partner needs, if my partner needs me to be sober, I will be sober. But not all sober people need that. Some sober people can be comfortable around other people drinking and doing stuff and blah, 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 blah.
Hmm.
However, Miss Sheena, what she was doing, diabolical, bro. Because
It
that didn't
was.
make any sense. Because dude whose name escapes me, do you remember what that boy's name was? Shay. Shay.
Yes,
There we go.
Shay. Yes.
Because Shay was not even, I think he was a baby sober. Like he was not even 5 seconds out the womb of being sober, bro. And this
Hmm.
girl was like, "Oh, you could have a drink. Oh, you could do this. Oh, you could have one beer." And it's like, bro, that's not how sobriety works. Like that is not okay.
That was toxic.
It
She
was so
actually got
bad.
like attacked online for that at some point.
Oh, did she?
She did. And during the reunion, she mentioned that looking back at it and after doing research for herself, she realized that was entirely wrong. Because what I
Yeah.
think is that she was setting, and this was the problem with her and Shay's relationship to begin with, she was just setting these expectations that she came up with. And
Mm-hmm.
in this series, in the most recent season, she actually talks about having OCD and
Mm.
anxiety. So she's taking antidepressants for it now.
Good for her.
Yeah, I
We
love that.
love a medicated queen.
Yes. So I see like a difference in how she is now in terms of the way that she speaks with expectations versus
Mm-hmm.
with Shay. Granted, Brock is it Brock?
I don't know. I never met him. I never watched him.
Oh damn.
I think he's
Um,
Australian though, right? I
yes,
don't
yeah,
know.
with her current partner, the
We're gonna call
relationship
him Down
dynamic is
Under.
different. Not down under.
Yep.
I think his name is Brock. We'll figure that out. But yes, her partner that she's with now is a lot different. So the dynamic is of course different, but how she is also different. She
Mm-hmm.
recognizes that was completely wrong because that shit was wild.
Good for her, because that shit was bonkers, bro. I was watching that and I was like, that's not how you do that. That's not how that's done.
It was bad,
As
bad.
someone, I mean, I've never, thankfully for me, I've never had any addiction personally in my life, like in terms of like family members or myself or anything like that. Actually, that's a lie now that I think about that. Anyway, but I've never had to directly support a person who was dealing with addiction.
Mm,
And even I was like, that is not how you do that. You can't give someone who's struggling with pills and drugs and stuff, like, oh, you can just drink. Sometimes, perfect example, Demi Lovato. Love me some Demi Lovato. Huge fan of that woman. Not so much a fan of the things that she says sometimes, but I love her music. And there's one thing that Demi said, which is what led to her OD and almost the passing of her life, was that she was quote unquote like California sober, which I heard is like a term where they don't do hard drugs, but like they drink a little bit or they smoke a little weed or whatever the case may be. And she was like, she can't do that. She has to be sober, sober. She
mhm,
has to be completely devoid of any substances because it started with a little bit of smoking weed here. And then it led to, okay, I'm gonna drink a little wine. And then it was like, all right, I'm gonna have a bourbon. And then it was like, all right, I'm gonna do some coke. And then it was like, all right, well, I can't get the coke, so now I'm doing heroin. And then she fucking ODs. And so it's like, is that the truth for everybody? Absolutely not. Everybody confronts their sobriety differently. But especially if you're new to it, if this is not something that you've done before, it's probably important for you to completely cut all of those things off until you can kind of figure out what it is that you need from life, where you can lie without going over the edge. And that may
yeah,
be a little controversial, especially when it comes to like AA and stuff like that. You're supposed to be completely sober, but life is not black and white. You know, it's up to people and what they decide to do. But I mean, Shay should have just been completely sober, and I think that honestly, and that for that couple, I think that Sheena should have also been completely sober
I
because she
agree.
partied a lot at that time. She was always around people who were also partying a lot. I think it would have been helpful for him to have like a rock, like okay, Jax and Stassi and Katie and Tom, they're all getting fucked up, but at least my girl, my wife, she's sober, and when they're all getting messed up and I just need like someone to ground me, I have someone who's also in their right mind that can ground me. So I think in that way, it's really important to have a partner that's sober. But like I said, not everybody needs that. Not everybody needs that type of support. Some people can be at a bar and be fine. And some people can't even look at a bar without thinking, oh, well, I'm about to go to the liquor store. So it depends for people. But if that's what Allie, that's her name, Allie,
Yes. Hmm.
if that's what Allie chooses to do for the benefit of her relationship, I support that. Like, if that's what James needs, then go for it. I think that's a beautiful thing that you would stop doing something that you enjoy doing because your partner needs that for support.
Yeah, I agree. Especially because he's been trying to stay on this track of sobriety on and off for so long that
Yeah,
this is
and he
something that
needs to
he
stay
hasn't had
sober.
yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So maybe trying this might actually lead him in the direction that he wants to. And I love
Yeah.
that. I love a good sobriety story.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
It's
okay,
hard. I can only imagine.
right? Because, but I would probably be California sober if I were in LA. That'd be, I'm not gonna lie, because it's like you just smoke weed, not do that every
Right.
day. That's
Right.
I'll stop drinking coffee if I can continue to drink weed every or drink not drink
Not
weed.
drink weed.
I mean, you could if you get the infusions, but
Lord.
smoke
Oh my
weed every
God.
day, yeah, like that. All right, I'm
Yeah,
not
just like
crazy.
that.
Yeah, like that. I'm
Oh,
not
okay.
crazy. Yeah,
A
yeah,
little
yeah.
crazy.
Okay, so yes, I know we got off the topic of Tom, but
We
yeah,
did. That was
that's
quite the segue.
It's fine. Because honestly, like it all really ties in. This is like, that's how much history they have with each other, bro. And you out here talking about what James did with Kristen. Look at what you did with everybody else.
Right.
So, delusion. This case is solved. That man needs help.
Especially because, like, we all know that Miami Girl was legitimate. At the time, I was really hoping that it wasn't legitimate, but we know Miami Girl was a thing.
Ah, she
And
was.
you let Ariana embarrass herself on national television by sitting up here and being like, Miami Girl, it didn't happen. Miami Girl didn't happen. And lo and behold, Miami Girl happened. This girl was a ride or die for you, bro. And this is how you would choose to embarrass her again? That's why Tom will never learn his lesson, bro. That man will be 60 cheating on his wife. And nobody has
That's
time for
60.
that.
And you
60.
know, a thing with them too is in this season, Ariana mentioned that. Remember how adamant she was on not having children, and I'm a good advocate for if you don't want them, don't have them.
Yeah.
Um,
Especially if you don't want them, don't have them. Stop
yeah,
having kids, people.
not the agenda.
Stop having kids if you don't like kids, if you don't want kids, stop having kids. I could talk about this for an entire episode of people who should not have kids because you know what? They did not ask to be here. And you know what's going to happen? They're going to turn 30 and they're going to be 10 years into a healing journey and they're gonna be like, why am I not healed yet? Because my mama shouldn't have had me. That's why. So stop having them kids if you don't want them. Child free, baby.
It's a
Ow.
good time, honestly.
We
It
like
is.
that.
I love being
We
an
like
aunt.
that.
Being an aunt is better. Have somebody
Right.
else have the children and you just take them temporarily and then return them. And it's an amazing time for me. I do love that. So I know we went on a whole tangent there.
We
We
did.
actually didn't get to the other posts, but there was just so much stuff that we had to discuss here. So we're going to continue this next episode. But it's been lovely discussing the delusion of Tom Sandoval with
Yeah.
y'all.
And honestly, the entire Vanderpump Rule family.
These are
Oh,
real emotions
speaking
about
of
it.
which, are you gonna watch The Valley?
I've been thinking about it.
I don't know if I want to give Jax my screen time again, but I'm low key okay with giving Jax my screen time.
It's Jax.
So
I
I
think
might
he was
watch it.
fun. Not you judging me.
I am Maury because that man was crazy. That man was crazy. That man was crazy. That man needs to be a psychological study.
I know, and he's just so interesting.
He
Uh,
is. He's good TV. I'll tell you that much.
yeah,
Or
yeah,
at least he
yeah.
was in the beginning. I have questions about his relationship with Brittany, but
Same, honestly.
I'd
I
be.
think Brittany's too
Although
good
the
for
only
him.
thing is, I'm not all that interested in seeing Kristen again. I don't like her at
She's in
all.
there.
Yeah, she's one of the couples. I guess maybe she's with a new man. I
I'll
don't know
watch
who her
it.
boyfriend is. It
I'll
definitely
watch
isn't
it, and then
Carter.
I'll let you know how it goes.
You let me know, friend.
I'll
Well,
be the sacrificial lamb.
look at you sacrificing for the peoples.
Yeah,
I love that.
yeah. But that's all we have for today, folks. Drink
Yeah,
water, do something y'all enjoy.
we're gonna go get brunch.
Hell yeah.
Bye.
Adios.